Hello, everybody. My name is Katarina Breisch, or Kat for short. Today I will be presenting to you about adapting to global markets. So let's go ahead and get started. Global marketing gives the opportunity for brands and companies to engage and obtain new customers all over the globe. Today's age of globalization and expansion into new markets provides countless opportunities to be successful for brands and companies, but there are also a collection of challenges that businesses face when they do this. So let's go ahead and explore this. Today's article that I'm referencing is 3 ways to overcome challenges of marketing products globally. Great article. The fundamental focus of leaders of product marketing should be building the narrative, messaging, and positioning to identify solutions that customers look for, and steps taken should include a roadmap with clear responsibilities of what's to happen. And next is a compelling story that will appeal to customers, and letting the different teams work on what they need to do is crucial. For example, the demand team can work on lead generation, content team can work on content strategy, positioning, segmentation, and pricing are team efforts for all. Now, there are several important steps that you do need to do, which is kind of an external analysis of your market. So let's go over these. Number 1 would be to nail the local preferences and formats. So you have to adjust to the preferences that the country has. This will mitigate risk. For example, there was one marketing problem. There was the Ford Kuga, which is a popular compact SUV in the European market. But when they went to a different place, Kuga means plague in Baltic languages such as Serbian and Croatian. So the name was not a good fit for the region. And so takeaway from this would be checking language and customs is super important. So you have to be flexible enough to change these things up before launching because the countries do need something that is custom to them. Number 2 would be demonstrate your local commitment. Markets are so different from place to place, and experimenting is a good way before you dip your toes and actually start selling to customers. Also, a great way to connect with them is participating in local events, organization meetups. So essentially, you have to build awareness of your brand while resonating and connecting with consumers. And so participating in their customs creates opportunities for collaboration if needed. Also, another important thing you can do is look for local digital influencers who can engage with followers that is content specific to your brand and to the location. Number 3 would be don't settle for vanilla translation. You can't rely on the same corporate message that you use in your homeland to work abroad. You have to work in different languages to reach the audiences, and everything should be hyper personalized and adapted to specific location that you want to do business. This includes website, content, distribution, to name a few. So laser-focused customer teams to create target messaging is key in this. Let's talk about the concepts illustrated from the textbook that match this article. This is from chapter 8 of the textbook. So number 1 is brand element adaptation. So when firms launch brands and services, products globally, marketers have to change certain brand elements. For example, in the chapter they highlighted an example with Hallmark cards. Hallmark cards failed in France, where consumers don't like syrupy sentiment and they prefer writing their own cards. But Hallmark does include some fancy writing inside, so that could be a reason why they did not do so well out there in France. You have to be willing to adapt to what your country needs. Number 2 is product adaptation. So altering the product to meet local conditions or preferences. So flexible manufacturing can make it easy to create on different levels that work for the region that you are going after. For example, you can make a regional version of your product, a country version, city version, or even a retailer version, and that can make it successful. Let's go over a few questions that the article raises and kind of prompts. Number 1 is, what is the best strategy for connecting with a foreign market? Number 2, How should a company retain its values and purposes while expanding and marketing globally? Number 3, what will adapting to different global markets look like in the future? And today I will be answering number 2. How should a company retain its values and purposes while expanding and marketing globally? So, if you have a company going out to another country, you have to integrate the company culture with the company culture, or the culture in the country that you are going out to. It can be tricky business. You have to know the culture norms in the new region to respect. So, people out there have ingrained company culture of the country, and you have to be fine to acquire some of it, and a multi-phase plan that slowly introduces elements of process and expectation for the organization is key. So cultural integration will not just occur, it does need to be managed and monitored as closely as possible for the process and technical bits. It's also important to understand that the most dearly held aspects of pre-existing culture may fit or may not fit with your brand, and so you have to reinforce attributes that fit and keep up your company values by delicately massaging the ones that need to be transitioned. And so, to sum things up, you do have to do quite a lot of research before entering a country. So, before you do go into a country, you do need an internal analysis and a plan. This could be a product roadmap, as mentioned earlier, including launch activities, what exactly you are going to do, and a timeline and clear responsibilities that are laid out for everyone in your organization for this to become successful. And you can't forget external analysis, super important before entering a country to sell your product. Global marketing can be hard. You have to make a compelling story for the product, and depending on the location and adjustments to be made, you have to adopt the mother tongue of the place you are entering. Blindly following the same marketing strategy that you use in your country and trying to lay it out on to different countries will lead to failure, and you have to know the people and the culture that you are going into, that you are marketing to, in order to succeed. That concludes my presentation for today. Thank you so much for listening.